I'm here today to tell you that you are missing out if you are not shopping at estate sales for your home. Last places that you can really find unique and quality home decor pieces for super affordable prices. I think I've spent like years of my life at different estate sales all over California and elsewhere, and honestly this last weekend was no different. I really needed to pick me up because in the last few days of 2023 I got so sick and it took me out all the way through the beginning of January. So the minute I was feeling like even remotely myself again, I grabbed a mask and went to estatesales.net and went to the first 3 sales that were going on that day and at that time, and these places were totally my vibe. So I know they're going to be your vibe too, because I know you guys love what I like. So let's jump into it and let me show you what I got. So while we browse these places together, I'll be sharing some of my best tips and tricks for taking home some really great deals at estate sales, and I'll of course be sharing with you what I got after every house. So let's jump into our first estate sale of the day. This one was run by one of my favorite companies. They always have super great prices and they always seem to be hosting in the best houses. Which leads me to tip number 1, you'll only know if you go. I suggest you go to tons of different estate sales to get to know the companies and which ones have the best prices or the nicest customer service and or the best homes. If you have no idea how to find these sales or figure out who runs them, the best place to start is on estatesales.net or .org. You can type in your city or zip and use the map to click on each individual sale. Inside every listing, you'll get a description of what to expect, the address, how long it's on for, any rules they have about arrival, and the best part, which is photos. Which leads me to tip number 2, know before you go. Estate sales often have tons of resellers, especially on the first day, as they want first dibs, and it's really hard to grab exactly what you want if you don't know how to shop these sales. So in the listing photos, you can get a good idea if the style of what they're selling is even of interest to you, and if it is, you can start to make a little list of what you'd like to look for when you're there. Then when you arrive, you can ask the host where the couch is or which floor has the bedroom with those 2 side tables you want. This place had tons of really interesting mid-century items, and I don't think that they were designer, but they were very cool nonetheless and super affordable. This sale was on their first day, so there were at least 15 people here before the sign-up sheet even came out at 8 a.m. Luckily, we got there early and ended up being number 9 and 10 on the list, so we were in the first group to go in, and there were tons of people to follow, so I didn't get a lot of detailed footage here, but let me show you what I got. So the first thing I picked up was this cute little lamp. It's really mid-century looking, I think more so than some of the lamps that are on sale nowadays. And I just love that it's like kind of compact and it's got different levels for lighting and this little thing that moves it around. And I think I could probably use this in the office because it mimics the one that's over the desk. So I'm excited to kind of find a place for this. The next thing I picked up for potentially the office is this cool shelf. It's really interesting because it's got like this adjustable bracket so you can kind of move it up and down. And I just love like the raw wood kind of color. So I really liked this and I think this was $5. So this was pretty great too. The next 2 pieces I picked up were these candle holders. They're very like mid-century looking and super chrome or stainless. And on the bottom it says they were made in New York. And I think it also says they're stainless. So I thought these were really pretty and these would go anywhere in the house. I think I love adding like a little pop of chrome. This next piece is one of my favorites. It's so unique looking. I think it's really cool with this glass kind of amber red bauble at the bottom, and then I love like the fluted shape. I believe it's like a bud vase and I'm definitely going to use it as such, but I really love it, and again I could use this probably anywhere in the house. So I picked up 3 items from the kitchen area. The first thing I picked up was like this little glass pitcher, and I think it's just so cute. It's just this smoked glass and I love it. I just really like picking up colored glass pieces. And then I also got this really pretty like mid-century coffee pot. It's got some nice like butterflies on it and like gold gold painting. And then I absolutely love like the little top on it. I think that's really cute. And the handle, I think I could put like some feed and wax on the handle and like really bring it back to life. But I think it's so cute and really pretty. I don't know if I'm like a huge fan of the butterflies, but I don't hate it either. And the turquoise is not entirely like in my color scheme, but I think this is like a really fun decorative piece, or I could actually use it for coffee if I wanted to. I also picked up this cute little glass wind chime from the outdoor area, and I just love like the colors of it. This top piece is made out of wood, and then I think it just has like the best little clinging and clanging sound to it. It's obviously not gonna be that dramatic, but just wanted to give you guys the essence of it. I think it's probably made out of like sea glass or something, so I really love that, and I love wind chimes. And the last piece I got here was this super cool butcher block kind of short, small cutting board, and it's got a magnetic knife on the side, and I just love this. It's really cool. It's got like some interesting writing on the back, and I'm definitely gonna use this at the bar because it's always nice to have something just to cut like lemons or limes or whatever. So I love this. So the second house here was so interesting. I love this little weird corner piece. It's kind of the style of the office that I'm going for. But beyond that, this house had so much good stuff. A lot of it was arts and crafts and art deco. Tons of really beautiful colored glass and this lamp, which I was absolutely obsessed with. It's like a turquoise iron and it was $145, so totally out of my price range. But then I saw this little table and I thought this was so cute and only $20. So this leads me to tip number 3. Grab a sales associate and ask them to put something on hold for you and give them your name, because things can go really quickly, especially at a sale like this where there's tons of really great stuff. And this house was huge. I think it was like 4 different stories with 2 patios outdoors. So it would have been really difficult to be carrying around a side table plus anything else that I picked up here. And it was great to know that this little pile of my stuff that I wanted to potentially buy was sitting outside safely. Now this place had such unique lighting, whether it was in the ceiling or in the lamps. So I'll show you as much as I can, but beyond that, I absolutely loved all the art in here. It was really interesting and unique and stuff I haven't really seen before, especially at estate sales. Plus, there was so many really great stained glass windows. I kind of felt like I was in a church or like an old rec center. This place was gigantic. I don't know, it was honestly like maybe 6,000 square feet. There was so much to see, and I feel like there were enough books here to fill up an entire library. So while I was browsing, I heard downstairs that some people had been at this estate sale the day before, and that really leads me to tip number 4 here, which is the early bird gets the credenza, because if you really want a higher end piece or something that's just a little bit more specific or designer, then you're gonna wanna be one of the first people to show up. Anything that's collector or high end or bigger, like a bed frame or a sofa, are usually gonna be the first things to go, especially by resellers or somebody who looked at those photos and really wanted it more than you. I showed up to this sale on the second day, so luckily things were 50% off. However, I wish I could have seen what was originally here on the first day, because I was honestly blown away with how unique and interesting this house was. So if you're one of the lucky ones, not looking for something in particular and just wanting to explore a new home and maybe find something cool, then you could find an amazing deal on the second to last day or the last day. This is when the sellers are most motivated to just get rid of something at any cost, especially if you're buying more than one thing. Additionally, tip number 5, bring cash and say, hey, I only have $50. Would you take 50 instead of 65? Most often, these people will absolutely be flexible. But if you are someone who's going to an estate sale looking for a dresser or a bed or a dining room table, my tip number 6 is to bring measurements with you. Measure the area in your home that you're looking for that piece of furniture and put it on a piece of paper or in your phone, and then bring a tape measure with you, because there's nothing like finding the perfect piece and then bringing it home and realizing it doesn't fit at all. And if you're unsure of how to transport a giant piece from an estate sale back home, there's a really great service called Lug, and you can download the app on your phone and they will actually send 2 guys to the location, pick it up and drop it off and put it in your place for a pretty nominal fee. So as you can see, this house literally went on forever, but I wanted to add another tip in here, which is tip number 7. Never skip the garage. There are usually pretty unique and discounted items in there. But let me show you what I took home from this place. So this next house was probably my favorite just because it had so many rooms and it all looked really handmade or hand carved or hand bent or hand blown. They had so many good things that were really pricey, but I think definitely worth the pricing. The most expensive piece I paid for was this really, really pretty painting. I think it was just the color, the lighting that's like kind of displayed in this painting. It's just so pretty to me. The frame is actually really nice as well. And I think it's just got like such a cool vibe to it. When I think this was like $60, which was probably like the cheapest piece of art there. So I think I got lucky for sure, but I really love this and I can't wait to find a place for it in the house because I think it just totally matches the vibe of our space. The next thing I picked up was this really custom mug. I think it's so pretty and it's got a lot of movement on it. I love like the coloring and I can definitely use this as a mug because it's fully glazed. I would definitely use this as a mug in the morning for coffee or tea and I just love it. I wish there were more. There was only this one, but I had to grab it and I think it's okay to kind of have like a mix and match of mugs as long as they're all super cool and unique and you like them. I love it. I wish there was a set of them, honestly. I also ended up grabbing this little trinket box that I think has like a either bone or capiche shell inlay. It's actually hard to find these hand carved boxes where it has all the pieces still here. A lot of them end up falling out and so I don't pick them up, but I found this one completely intact and totally operational. It's got some like blue velvet on the inside and I think I could use this for jewelry or recipe cards. So this is really cool and I love it. It's very pretty. Another solo piece that I picked up that I wish there were more of was this switch cover. This is made out of copper. I really want to put it in the living room somewhere or just somewhere where there's like an exposed plug all the time. If you're gonna have to look at a plug, like make it look nice, and I think this is just really great. So this was like, I think $3. If I wanted to buy more, I'm sure it would be way more expensive, so I'll just have to keep looking for something like that because I didn't know copper ones existed. The next thing I got was this beautiful table. I absolutely love this piece so much. It's got these really pretty bobbin legs. It looks really old and vintage. I think it's missing a leg in the back, but honestly, you probably couldn't tell if you could just have it oriented this way. And it's got a lot of wear and tear, but in a good way. It kind of adds just like some nice character to it. And it's got a really great color as well. I think if I just use some feed and wax or maybe some Restora finish on it, it could really pop, but I honestly just love it in its current condition. I think the last thing I picked up from this house was this cute little set of like espresso cups made out of this like amber glass. And on the bottom, it says France 23, France 25. I'm not really sure what these are from. Maybe they're from France, but they're so cute and they come with these like little saucer plates. And I just absolutely love this so much. I really do love glassware and drinkware, and I have an espresso machine, and the whole set of 4 of them was only $5. So what a steal, honestly. I also took home this copper canister. I think it's just maybe for like, you know, utensils in the kitchen, or you could use it in the office. On the bottom though, it says made in England, and then Gary gave me late 1970s. So not really sure what this is all about, but I actually ended up using something like this over Christmas with a fake tree inside so that this was like the bottom. And I thought it looked really cool. It just added like that cool antique vintage vibe to a fake Christmas tree. So I love having these around for just about anything, and I might end up using it in the kitchen. I totally forgot to say that the chair that I'm sitting in is also something I picked up at the estate sale for $50, and I really like it. And I think it matches the Spanish style of the home. So this estate sale was really weird because they had such a strange mixture of decor. Some stuff seemed really old, but the house was super modern and almost looking brand new. I'm not really sure what the story was with this place, but just looking at it is kind of interesting. And of course, I ended up gravitating towards some of their older stuff. I ended up just touring the house to see what the rest of it looked like. It looks like it should be in Los Angeles or something. It doesn't seem like a San Diego house in my opinion. It seems like the person that owned this house had some older furniture, but just ended up keeping it in this brand new house, which is so strange to me. It was a pretty overwhelming space to be in, and it really didn't match the neighborhood. I did end up finding this frame in the office. It's one of those steel frames, and I'll show you that in a moment. This is the, I guess, guest bathroom downstairs, and the tile on the stairs was really interesting. The circle motif is a little bit weird, but I liked that there was a lot of skylights. I would just personally never live in a house like this. It seems way too austere. And then all these old dressers were in the primary bedroom alongside this little personal gym with the bike and treadmill next to a fireplace with this amazing view of the ocean out front. This house was just really wild. Wanted to show the bathroom because I thought this was absolutely amazing. It was so bright. There was tons of skylights. And then I came across this random side table and it looked like it should go with a mid-century bed set like connected to the bed frame. And there was only one of them. So I don't know what the deal is with all the older furniture in here. And then this was actually the kids' bathroom. I wish I had a bathroom like this when I was a kid. I didn't get too much here, but let me show you what I got. So I didn't find a lot here, but I did find this really interesting corkscrew like wine bottle opener, and I think it's just got like a lot of interesting detail on it, and it feels really heavy, so I don't know what it's made out of. It's some kind of metal, and I just think I like the detail on it and the coloring, the kind of patina, and these are nice to have on the bar. So I went in one of the bedrooms and I saw this, and I think it was for jewelry, and I've been looking for something like this actually because I have an old one from like the Container Store from years ago, and it's just kind of plasticky and ugly, but it's hard to find something that's big enough and that's like super minimal. So this was actually a really good find for me. It's so random, but it was only $2 and I was really happy to find this. And then I saw this side table, and I don't know what happened to that bed set or maybe the other side table, but this was the only one there. And I really like it. I'm not really sure where to use it, and it's totally been used and abused. I feel like this really needs to be flipped as well, but it's got this really great handle on it. It's got like a little thing for a shelf if you want to do that. And I think I can use this in the guest room as well. Again, I just really like it. I think it's got like a cool shape and vibe to it. This next piece was from the kitchen, and I love it a lot because the shape is just so interesting and minimal. And I'm constantly picking up different types of pitchers because I use them sometimes as like bud vases, or I end up putting like, you know, water and lemon on the table if people come over. So I love having a little bit of a pitcher collection, and I'll have to show you all those at some point. As a little bonus, we actually went to a 4th estate sale, and it was because we saw a sign on the side of the road as we were driving back home, and I was like, okay, let's go check it out. And it ended up being this really pretty, pristine, mid-century home that had tons of like really old designer pieces that were in really great shape. And so there were tons of people at this one, and I tried to record as much as I could, but I also ended up recording in the vertical format, so it looks a little bit different, but it was just packed full of people. There were so many really cool things there that I wanted to take home for sure. I did, however, find a few things that I could afford, and one of them being this amazing set of these large Tiffin Madeira Franciscan glasses. I don't remember the full official name. I'll put it on the screen. I actually have a set of these in like a smaller, like half size, and they're in the green glass, and I don't know if I'm gonna keep them for sure, but right now I absolutely love them, and I think that these are just some of the coolest glasses out there. I also picked up this super pretty frame. I really love these vintage frames that have this kind of style on the back. They're just like really sturdy. I love the art in here too, surprisingly. It does kind of look a little bit 70s, but the matting is nice too, so if I ever wanna just change out the art. I love this frame, and I haven't seen a lot of them that are in this style, this small, so I definitely think I wanna put this in the guest room. And I think my favorite piece that I found here was this really beautiful blanket. It's really soft and just has such a nice like quality material to it. I really like the tassels, and I think this adds so much. It's got that like kind of classic graphic pattern. It's just a really beautiful piece. I don't know how to wash it because the tag has been ripped off, so I'll have to do some research and maybe take it somewhere and ask them what to do with it, but I think this is really, really pretty. you'd like to see more estate sales and hauls like this, then definitely check out this playlist. Other than that, I will see you guys next week with a new video.